Welcome on board. If you have been in our class before now, thank you for staying on. I do hope you're learning something. I hope you are benefiting from this class. Thank you very much. So yes, to the business of the day. Okay. If you can't have your video on as usual, please just exit the class and watch on YouTube. It's part of our instruction and we keep sending it every day. As much as possible, I would like you to adhere strictly to our rules. Please, just adhere to our rules so that we can have a great time in class. There's no problem if you can't have your video on. You can always join the class on YouTube, but as long as you're coming into this class, it's a visual class and it's distracting. It's distracting if you keep like making us talk in the middle of, a discussion. We have to stop and I'll take you out or to start saying it. If you can't have your video on and all of that, I don't want to be doing that. Even if you are joining for the first time, if I had gone through the instruction, you would have seen it that the class on Zoom is a visual class and we expect you to be online. And if you're online, we expect you to have your videos on. Please, I want to beg of you. Because sometimes I go off the screen and I'm doing something else and I'm not seeing everybody and I can't see you. And then before now, I've taken some people out. So if I leave you to remain there, it's like I don't know what I'm doing. Please, if you can't have your video on, join the class on YouTube. You will still benefit. You can still ask your questions. Okay? You can ask your questions on YouTube. When I come on there, I'll find out what your question is and then I'll get back to you. Please have your video on or you exit the class and join the YouTube classes. Let's be orderly in this class. Thank you very much. My name is Joy Agagwu and I'm your anchor for IELTS tutorials for overseas nurses. And tonight or today, we are going to be talking on writing task again. We have done writing tasks over and over. We have done assignments over and over. But the thing is, we keep having new members joining the class, and so the class will keep going and going and going again and again. You can always go back to the YouTube classes, the YouTube videos for your classes. All right? I like us to be as attentive as possible so that when we are doing the class discussions, you can participate. And if you have any questions, you can ask your questions. Writing task 2. Generally, the writing task, the academic writing task, if you are a health professional, you are expected to do the writing task, the academic module of the IELTS test. And that's if you are coming to the United Kingdom and to the Irelands. Now, some places accept, like Canada and the rest of them, they will ask you to write general. Before you register for your exams, you need to be sure which country you are going to and what kind of exam you're going to be writing, because there are 2 different modules. When you are in this class, please, we mute you, we mute everybody. So please don't unmute yourself except you are asked to do so. I've not started the class. What is not clear already, Linda? We've not even started the class. I was saying that you are expected as a nurse coming to the United Kingdom to write the academic module of the IELTS exam. And these academic modules have 4 papers in them. We have the reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Your speaking usually will come on a day or 2 or a week before your other exams. The writing, the reading, and the listening come the same day. Reading and listening, they are like objectives, different forms of objectives that you will find in them. Speaking is face to face with your examiner. Writing is where you are going to use a pen or a pencil to write. The writing task is divided into two. We have writing task 1 and writing task 2. Writing task 1 has to do with graphs and tables and pictures that you can see. That's one difference with writing task 1 and 2. Writing task 1, you have picture, you have something they are giving to you. It could be a map, but you are expected to give a summary, all right? Give a summary of a particular thing depending on the question that you are being asked, or to highlight, all right? Then writing task 2 is where you are going to write the essay. Whatever form of writing exam, we have certain things that are common to all of them, and we are going to be discussing them one after the other. And when we discuss this, we are going into the types of writing tasks, the types of writing questions that you will find, how to answer these writing questions, and then we'll do an example. And we'll bring from our previous classes or from our previous assignment 1 or 2 of your assignments so that we can solve them in the class, and then you know how these things are done. Is it clear? So our lesson today is based on writing task 2. We will be discussing what writing task 2 is. We'll be discussing the question types, and we'll be discussing examples of those question types as well. Don't be surprised if I remove you from this class. All right. So writing task 1, task 2. The writing task 2 is the type of writing exam that is an essay that is.
I don't know if you can hear me.
And I can hear.
No
I can hear you.
I can't hear you.
I can hear you. Can you all hear me? Who else cannot hear me? If you can hear me, wave your hand. I think you have a problem, Linda, with your earpiece or with your connection. If you can hear me, if you can't hear me, you may need to go out of the class, all right? Come in again and click on that join with audio. Probably that's not what you did. I'm not sure. Esther and Kocha, you are supposed to have your video on. Can you all hear me? Can any other person hear me? I just want to be clear before we move on. Is she the only one with problem? Who else cannot hear me? Hannah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, ma'am.
Good. So please, Linda, go out of the class and join the class again, and you'll be able to hear me. Thank you. All right, so I was saying that writing task 2, the difference with writing task 1 and 2 is that writing task 2 is designed to test your ability to write an academic style of essay, all right? And here you are expected to present your information in your own words as complete sentences within paragraphs. The instruction will tell you that you have to write not less than 250 words, and you have to complete the task in 40 minutes. Task 1 and 2 is 60 minutes, that's 1 hour. Task 1 is 20 minutes, while task 2 is 40 minutes. Task 2 carries 2/3 of the total score. Task 1 carries 1/3 of the total score for your writing task. You are expected to write legibly, all right, using all the devices that are available to you, ensuring that all the aspects of your task are completely carried out, okay, as you have been instructed. So my advice to you, first of all, is that you should not write too many words. You stay within your word limit, because this will help you to minimize errors, all right? It will help you to minimize errors. Yep. So usually there are certain things that your examiners are going to be using to rate your writing. They call them band descriptors. These band descriptors are the criteria on which you are judged, you are rated. And we are going to explain them like we have always done before now. So band descriptors. These band descriptors, the first one of them is your task achievement or your response. Task achievement or response. We will be discussing them according to the task, according to the writing task. For task 2, what you are expected to do in task achievement is that your work should have not less than 250 words. I've told us in this class that at most 280 words, at most 280 words. All right, 250, not less than 250. 270 is fine, 260 is fine. All right, 250 is even fine if your words are okay. Then 280 is the maximum that you should go. The reason is because the more you write, the more you are prone to making errors. Another thing you should do for your task achievement is that you must satisfy all the requirements of the task. That is, that you should cover every aspect of that topic. Cover every aspect of the topic. For instance, if you have a question that is asking you to discuss both views and give your opinion, you must have discussed both views and given your opinion for me to say you finished up the task. All right, then based on the structure, you must have had for me an introduction and then the body paragraphs and the conclusion before I will say you have completed the task. I say you have, okay, by virtue of the structure of the writing task too, you have scored a good mark for your structure, you have scored a good mark for task completion, for task achievement, you have scored a good mark. You must have covered every aspect. Cover every aspect of the question, cover every requirement of the question. Then you must have developed your main points as well where possible, and then with an example. All right. With that, we move to coherence and cohesion. Coherence and cohesion explains how you can write down your ideas, connecting them to make good paragraphs. And for you to achieve this, what are you going to do? You must make your information to be sequential. All right, sequence the information and your ideas logically. You should use a range of cohesive devices that are appropriate to what you are doing at that point. A range of words, a range of vocabularies that are appropriate to your essay. That way, your work will flow, okay? There will be that cohesion between your work, like you're moving from introduction to body paragraph 1 to body paragraph 2 and then to conclusion. Your work should have a flow. You should use your paragraphings appropriately, and then you must have a clear progression throughout your writing, avoiding unnecessary repetition of information. Because if you repeat information, you may have a bulky write-up, but at the end of the day, the info you are giving in it, the quality of the work will be very, very light, and it cannot give you your required score. The last but not the least is your lexical resource, okay? No, that's not the last one. The third one actually is your lexical resource. Your lexical resource is the component that access your vocabulary in terms of error, okay? It tries to see how well you can use advanced language to present your ideas. In this case, you must use vocabularies that allow some form of flexibility and precision. You must use vocabularies that are not so common. You must be aware of the academic writing style, okay, and how to relate things together. You must avoid errors with your choice of words, and then avoid errors with your word formation, and then errors with spellings as well. We've been having examples, and we even did one last week where we have to do the deceive and the receive. Many of us misspell some of these words, bringing one alphabet before the other, and at the end of the day, we turn it around and then we make mistakes and we score less marks. So your errors should be considered in terms of spelling errors, will be considered in your lexical resource. The last one that we're going to be talking about among the band descriptors is your grammatical range and accuracy. Grammatical range and accuracy is about your grammar, how to use more advanced sentences to produce error-free write-up. Here, you are required to use a mix of simple and complex sentences. You know, when we're in primary and secondary school, we did sentence formations, and we did simple sentences, compound sentences, and then the complex sentences. For the sake of your writing, it will be very, very beneficial if you can use more of the simple sentences and the complex sentences joined together with your cohesive devices to give you complete paragraphs. Your sentences should be error-free. They should make sense grammatically. Grammatical errors is basically what makes many people to score low marks when it comes to the writing task. Avoid errors with your grammar, and most importantly, your punctuations as well, where you have to cross your T's, where you have to dot your I's. Are there places where you are supposed to like put a question mark? Or this supposed to be a full stop and then you put a comma there and you continue? Are you supposed to have put an inverted comma or something? You need to take note of all of those, because they are the things that will give you your marks, whether high or low. All right. So for a good writing task too, we will be talking about the structure of the writing task. The structure, how? Okay, now I know that I have to write English that is very correct. I have to write grammatically correct English. I have to write words that are, I use words, vocabularies that are not so common. I have to paraphrase, okay? I also have to be careful with my punctuations, word formation, sentences, and all of that. How do I put this writing down? You should know that there's a structure. The writing task 2 is usually made up of 4 paragraphs. That's the least you should have, 4 paragraphs. And these are the introduction, your first body paragraphs, your second body paragraph, and then your final paragraph, which happens to be your conclusion. In all of these paragraphs, you are expected to give different information depending on the type of question that you have been asked. Your introduction is your general statement and your specific statement. Your general statement is your question prompt paraphrased, while your specific statement is the assignment that you have been given to do, the work you have been asked to do. They say you should either agree or disagree. That is your specific statement. They said that you should write both views, discuss both views, all right, and give your opinion. That is your specific statement. They say that you should write the causes and the effects. That is your specific statement. They have asked you to write about the merits and demerits, or the advantages and the disadvantages. That is your specific statement. Your question prompt, all right, or your general statement is that part that has asked you a question or that has made that statement. Paraphrased, that will be your general statement. Then with your specific statement, your purpose, your aim, what you are doing today, you join it together and then you give me a good introduction. Then the body paragraphs also will be depending, will largely depend on what kind of question you have in your hand. If you have a question that is going to say agree or disagree, it means that you would have had points for agreeing and points for disagreeing. When we get to those types of questions, we are going to be discussing how you can write your body paragraphs specifically. But your body paragraphs 1 and 2 is your main point. That's where your main point is. While your conclusion is a summary, all right, like a roundup of everything that you have been saying, where you pick something from your general statement and then you pick points from your body paragraphs and you conclude. All right. So having known that there are 4 paragraphs that you are expected to have in the structure, what kind of questions will you see, or what kind of topics, sorry, will you find your questions from? There are different topics that you will find your questions from in writing task 2. We have topics on education, topics on innovations. There are topics on the media, on crime, on technology. We have topics that come from social issues like divorce, like single parenting. You can have issues from drug abuse, all right, from substance abuse. It depends on what they have decided to choose, or even from smoking, social issues. You can have also topics from the environment, talking about maybe like global warming or something, talking about air pollution, talking about water pollution. Okay, they can decide to even talk about the pandemic as it is happening and affecting, maybe affecting learning now these days. It depends on what they want to choose to talk about, but these are the likely areas that you will find your questions from. Having known the kind of questions that you may find, how does it connect, all right, with your writing? You will have to go all out to get vocabularies. At the beginning of the class, I remember when we started this class some months back, I had mentioned these topics and I said to us to get for me vocabularies that are related to this. For instance, you have a topic on education. You should be using vocabularies like schools, like studying, like learning, institutions, okay? Those are the vocabularies that are related to education. You should be using vocabularies that are linked to your main topic, not just talking about things that are vague. Do we understand? To this end, I like to see if you have not had this before, if you have not in any way, done this assignment before for yourself, these topics, please go ahead and get vocabularies that are related to them, so that when you find any topic on them, you will be able to write fluently without any issues. Do we understand? Does it make sense to anybody?
Yes.
It does make sense, so we'll continue. I see that we don't really have many of our regular people in class today. So many new people. You are welcome to the class. Probably we'll welcome you and get to know ourselves at the end of the class. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're welcome. Jay, that's what I can see on your name. There are so many of you that are joining us.
Yeah,
I know
from,
we've had like
and today,
adverts
from
and all of
today,
that.
you will be our teacher. I hope you are
Yeah,
ready to help around the world.
you said?
Uh, I'm happy, yeah, that you are helping around the world for free, for charity. You know.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. You're welcome. It's actually for charity. We're not getting money from anybody and we're
Yeah.
not planning on getting
That,
paid by anybody. So yeah, that's it. Yeah.
My first time too.
Okay, so I was saying that for your own benefit, for your own good, please go ahead and get vocabularies that are related to these question topics so that you can write fluently without having to repeat your words. Remember that I said in the band descriptors that if you repeat your words too much, unnecessary repetitions can reduce your marks. At the end of the day, you discover that you have written a very voluminous write up. You have more than enough words, but you will score half the mark, or you will score a very low mark. The reason is maybe because you have had too many words repeatedly, okay, and that is what we want to avoid. That's the reason why I've said go all out, look for vocabularies on education, on innovations, okay, on crime, on media, technology, computer, yeah, okay, social issues, like drug abuse, like substance abuse generally, things like smoking, all right. When you see a topic on smoking, what are the other words that you can use instead of saying smoking, smoking, or smoked? Those are the things they are going to be looking out for. Technology and the future as well, like on our environment, air pollution, water pollution, all right, the increase in the green gas that is causing problems here and there. If you go ahead to look for these vocabularies, it makes your work easier when you want to write. All right, so now we will be talking about the types of questions. We have talked about your band descriptors, We have talked about the structure of the writing task too, all right? And we have talked about the types of topics that you may find your question, the question topics that you may find. So what are the types of questions? Many people have many questions, many types of questions that you will discuss. But for me, I've decided to bring all of those ones that I know under 3. I brought them all under 3. When you have the opinion essay as 1, there are 3 main types from my own write-up, and the 3 of them are: 1, the opinion essay. The opinion essays are the types that will ask you, to give your own personal view on a particular topic, asking you whether to agree or to disagree, asking you whether you are strongly agree or strongly disagree, asking you to give your opinion on this particular topic. Those are all opinion essays. Some people call it argumentative essay. They call it different names, okay? But they are all under opinion essays. Whether it is argumentative, where it's like a debate, whether you agree or disagree, okay, or you are telling me the extent of your agreement or disagreement. That's where we have the questions like, to what extent do you agree or disagree? Excuse me. Then we have a both sides and an opinion essay. Here, you are required to discuss both parts of the view, all right, both ends of the view, both ends of the argument, and then to give your own opinion or your own suggestion, to say what you think about that particular question. And finally, the third one, we have the a two-question essay. The two-question essay is involving, your response is asking you to respond to 2 different questions in one. 2 different questions in one. There sometimes you can have the advantages and disadvantages. That's where you have the cause and effect kind of essay. That's where you have, maybe they'll ask you the cause and solution. Yeah, some call it solution essay, some call it cause and solution essay, but it's not just cause and solution that comes under it, and that's why I have decided to call it a 2-question essay. 2-question essay. Now, we will discuss them one after the other. The opinion essays. What kind of questions will you find under these opinion essays? Questions that ask you, what is your opinion? That's 1. 2, do you agree or disagree? They come under opinion essays. 3, to what extent do you agree or disagree? Then 4, sometimes you see questions like, do you think that the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? Here, you are meant to choose, they are making you to choose between the advantages and the disadvantages. That is your own thought. So those are the kind of questions that you will find under the opinion essay. When you have an opinion essay, what do you do? What do you do? A question has asked you, do you agree or disagree? What do you do? First of all, I told us that when we have a question before us, what do? You identify what your keywords are in that question, and then you get the synonyms for the questions. Identify the keywords and get synonyms. Then you go ahead to decide what kind of response. Are they asking me to what extent? Okay, if they're asking to what extent, then you need to state whether you strongly agree or disagree. If they ask you, do you agree or disagree? If it's just like that, then you need to state whether you agree or disagree. If they have asked you, what is your opinion? It means that you need to state something like, in my opinion, or I do agree that, or I suggest that, I believe that, I assume that. That is your own opinion, okay? So you need to identify the kind of response that is expected of you. After that, you go ahead to brainstorm on your key points. These key points may be talking about maybe the education or the computer or technology, whatever it is. You brainstorm on it so that your answer can be around, those the particular topic that you have been asked about. Your vocabularies can be around it. And that's the reason why you need to get synonyms. Then you plan the structure of the written of the text that they have given you to write on. That is, you can I suggest that you put your strong points first before your weaker points. This is the reason why some people fail, because if you give me a point, if you are writing an essay for me to read and I start by reading very weak points, I may conclude on my own that you really don't have much to say about this topic. But if you give me very strong points from the beginning, then I'll be like, okay, as an examiner, I can fall in love with your work already. As an examiner, I may just develop likeness for the way you have started writing, and I pick interest in it, and I'm careful to read and to correct, or to read and to score you as I'm supposed to. But if you give, like, we have a saying that says first impression matters a lot, isn't it? So if you are starting your writing, please, as much as possible, present your strong points first of all. Let your strong points come forward. Let the ones that you know you can write expressly on without missing words, without making mistakes, they should be the ones in front, that you bring first of all, before you will now start, like, going down. Another thing is this: when you have a point, when you have a topic, and you, maybe the topic sentence itself, the whole of the topic does not make sense to you, in the sense that, okay, maybe you see a topic like teachers are better than doctors, and they say some people have agreed that the role of the teacher is really not necessary or whatever, and they are more of tilting towards the doctors. But you know that teachers are better than doctors, or that you want to agree with the side of the teachers, but you don't have enough points. But on the side of the doctors, you have enough points. Please just go the opposite and do your writing based on your points that you have. Forget about your sentiment, forget about your belief. All right. If, God forbid, or in an exam situation, you see that an exam that is saying that there's no God, and you have more points to prove that there's no God. I know, of course, that generally we don't have points to prove that there's no God. Some people may, but that's up to them. What I'm saying is, despite your belief, all right, I'm a Christian, and anything that will make me to start proving that God does not exist will never come. But if I'm in an exam situation and I have a question that is trying to tell me, give me reasons that God does not exist, for example, despite my belief, I will keep my belief aside, okay, and for the sake of this exam, just attack it and write. But I know that that will not come for me. What I'm saying, I'm giving you this example because I want you to drop everything that you know about some topics. When that particular thing comes, for the sake of that exam, write on it and go. Okay, now they said that computers have taken over the role of the teachers. All right, computers have taken over the role of the teachers, and some are purporting, some are of the opinion that in the nearest future, the role of the classroom teacher will no longer be needed. There will be no place for the classroom teacher anymore. Me and you know that as long as there are underdeveloped countries in the world, the role of the teacher cannot be wiped out. This is because not everybody can afford to get these computers. Sometimes even when they afford these computers, for example, they may not have good network to access them. Many of these areas do not have electricity supply for them to power these devices, for them to keep them running, to study with. Another thing is, if they have to use data, many of them do not have money to spend on data for them to be connected to keep studying online. So what do? They go for the other options. That's one aspect. Another aspect is that teachers will continuously be there because there are still schools training teachers. Teachers are graduating. You don't expect them to run out of job, okay? You don't expect that everybody will be computerized, let me use that word, at the end of the day, to the extent that nobody will be in class to study anymore. It's not going to happen in the nearest future. But you know it, you believe it. But like I have given points now, you don't have these points, okay? You don't have these points. But you know that after all, you have a phone, and it looks like the world is going global, and everyone is following, the trend of the world. You even have an example that you are studying now online. like it is computer, it is technology that has made it easier for you. I'm in the United Kingdom, all right, and just sitting on my computer now with my webcam on, and you are there with your phone, with your earbuds or whatever you're using. You are listening to me as a teacher. With the emergence of the pandemic, the students or children are now learning. Even in Nigeria, they had to do some visual learnings. Okay, as backward as we think we are not. In this country where we are, or in the world globally, children are learning more online now than they are learning in class. So you see that you have more points to support that of a truth, the role of the teacher will be wiped out in the nearest future. Please go for the one that you have more points. Don't say, after all, my mother is a teacher. Am I saying that at the end of the day, she will no longer have job? No, that's not what we are saying. What we are saying is that you have more points to prove that this is it. Go for this side and get your marks and go away. Nobody is going to put what is it called, a placard on your forehead and say, you did not support. No, it's not like that. Just write what you need to write and make your marks and go out of the exam hall. All right, that's what we want you to do. So put your previous knowledge of that topic aside and write on this topic at this time. Write based on what they have asked you. Write based on, okay, if you see another topic that is something that you know very well about, the opposite side, and they're asking you on this side, please go for the side that you know. I'm finalizing on that point. The side that you know you have more points that can give you your mark. All right? Okay. So you plan the structure of the given task, you itemize your points, bringing your strongest points first, then you go down up onto the weakest for you to score a good mark. What are the steps? How do we go about it? Steps to writing an opinion essay. We said that there are how many paragraphs all in all? We said how many paragraphs are we expected to have? At least four paragraphs. What is making up the 4 paragraphs? 1 is the introduction, first body paragraph, second body paragraph, and your conclusion. Introduction, first body paragraph, second body paragraph, and your conclusion. That is what you are expected to have in an opinion essay. For instance, what and what are we going to write about in introduction, in first body paragraph, in second body paragraph? In your introduction, the general statement and the specific statement, that is your stand or your view. Remember, this is an opinion essay we're talking about. Your view, your stand, okay, and the general statement is what you are going to be writing on in your introduction. Paraphrase it or rephrase it, depending on what word you want to use. Paraphrase, rephrase, they are the same thing. How do you paraphrase? To paraphrase, you need to note your keywords, okay, in the statement, and then using the synonyms for those words, you compose the sentences, okay, that is expected. That way, you will say the same sentence that the person has said, giving the same information, but in different words. At the end, you have presented to me my own same, statement in different words without changing the meaning, using words that are called synonyms. Synonyms are words that have the same or near meanings, okay? In other words, it's saying the same statement using different words without changing the meaning of the statement. The last time we had this class, we did a class work and we said, for instance, we said most men drive cars to work, and we wrote it in a different way. We chose the keywords, didn't we? Many men, many males. We chose keywords. Many males use automobiles to get to their jobs or to get to their workplaces. We changed the words, and at the end of the day, we came up with a sentence that is written with different words from the one we were given, but having the same meaning with what we were told. That is what it means to paraphrase. Okay? In this class, we may be doing some class works. Wow. I have actually discussed one of the class works already. I didn't even know. I didn't know. We've done it before. One of the things that this evening, let's see. If I say a question like an opinion essay question now, opinion essay question. Computers. Who has Cambridge 15 that is opened on her phone? I know we have a Cambridge 15 that we all downloaded. Many of us downloaded it. You are laughing, blessing. We downloaded Cambridge 15. Anyway, a question that is an opinion essay. It's because I have discussed this example. That's why I don't, because many of us will now go and do expo. And you won't crack your brain. You need to crack your brain. All right? I want you to crack your brain. So we need another question that is tougher. We need a tougher question. Confidence. Confidence. Do you have Cambridge 15 with you?
I have it.
You have Cambridge 15. Do you have any opinion question there that you can find for us now? And let's discuss it. Please. I have a couple of you here that don't have your videos on. Probably you came in after I had made that announcement. If your videos are off, I'll be forced to take you out of the class on the Zoom. You can join us in, you can join on the YouTube platform, okay? You can watch on YouTube platform, drop your questions if you have any. But please, if you must join this class, I'm sure that you all came in through a link. And on that link where you registered, you will see that there's an instruction. We usually find it really hard to obey instructions, and it's not good. It doesn't speak well of us at all. Does not speak well of us. We keep saying it, you know. Please join our class. It's free of charge, yes, but obey our instructions so that we can all flow together. It doesn't mean you cannot attend the class. Join us on YouTube. Ask your questions there. When we come onto the YouTube platform, we will answer your question. If you must join the Zoom class, have your video on. What does it take? I don't understand. I don't know exactly what the problem is. Maybe you are in a bus or you are at work and you can't have your video on. It's perfectly understood. Please join the YouTube class. Please. Okay, Jay, have you opened anyone? Did you find any?
Cambridge
15.
Okay. Now I will share, sorry. Wait.
You can just read out the question to us and that will be it. Just read out the question. I'll type it and yeah.
Wait. You are asking opinion question, right?
Yes, opinion, just opinion. I want a different opinion from what I have here because, I mean, we've discussed the questions I have here. We've discussed them many times. So I want something different.
Okay, wait. A big salary is much more important than job satisfaction. Do you agree or disagree?
A big salary is
much more important than job satisfaction. Do you agree or disagree?
Thank you.
Okay.
Satisfaction. Do you agree or disagree? Good. I've sent it to everyone. If you didn't hear what he said, a big salary is much more important than job satisfaction. Do you agree or disagree? Based on what we have discussed, from our plans or what we are expected to do, from the steps, what do we know about this question? First of all, we identify keywords and get synonyms. Is that not what we said? Identify keywords and get synonyms. What are the keywords in this question? A big salary is much more important than job satisfaction. So if I ask everyone, pick a keyword, write a keyword for me, go get on your writing pad and write the keywords in this statement for me. The keywords, as you write the keyword, you give me a synonym and post it. Please, which test in Cambridge 15? You're asking, okay. They want to know the test. What test is that on Cambridge 15, please, Jay? You can unmute yourself. You can unmute. Just click the unmute button.
Sorry. It's not from Cambridge. I searched online.
Okay, he searched online. Did you hear that? He searched online. So please, I've not seen anything. Keywords in this question. A big salary is much more, big, high, large, good, salary, income, all right? More words, please, bring them. We have seen for big, for salary, okay, importance, great remuneration. That's another word for big salary. Fat pay, okay. Bring them, keep bringing them on. And then much more important, nobody has said anything about it. Important, much more important, job satisfaction, I've not seen anything about it. Salary, monthly earning, all right, monthly pay. Keep bringing them on, let's see. If I were you, I would learn to participate in this kind of class because this is where you can actually learn a lot of things.
Mommy.
Essential, important.
They are done maintaining.
Keep bringing them on. I'm seeing salary, wage, income, important principle. Okay, content, satisfaction, fulfillment. Okay. All right. Is this all we've got? We don't have all day to do this. I hope you know that. We don't have all day. So a big salary is much more important than job satisfaction. Do you agree or disagree? Today, I'm going to ask you one after the other. There's no shame here. If you come to this class, there's no shame. And then I'll round it up. I will explain it. After we have done what we are doing now, then we'll talk about it one after the other. Yeah? If I remove you from my class, don't bother joining without your video. If you join again without your video, I will block you from the class entirely. And I'm serious. I don't know why we take ourselves for granted, especially when things are free. You don't make people feel bad for doing what they are doing. It's very, very wrong. Okay, so after we have identified our keywords and then we have gotten our synonyms, what kind of response is this? What kind of response? It's saying, do you agree or disagree? So it's a straightforward response of whether you agree or disagree. This is not where you are going to be writing a strongly agree or disagree. Please don't make that mistake. If you don't see a question asking you extent, if there's no to what extent, don't go ahead to write I strongly agree or disagree, please. If it's saying, do you agree or disagree, you are either to say whether you are supporting it or you are against it. Do you understand? You are either to follow the trend or to be against the trend or to go the opposite way around. You are either to tell me whether a big salary is better, just say it straightforward, or it is not better, or you choose job satisfaction. Brainstorm on your key points. You have brainstormed on the key points already, you have written them out. Okay, so here the main point here is that there are two things. It's either big salary is important or job satisfaction is important. So you are choosing one of the sides to talk about. You are choosing one of the sides to talk about. And now that you have your synonyms, we are going to go ahead to write our introduction. How do you write your introduction? Using the synonyms from the general statement. A big salary, big enumeration. Somebody said great remuneration. Someone else said monthly income. Okay, what other one did I even see again? Wage. Okay, monthly salary, earning, salary. All right, earning, monthly earning, huge salary. Okay, then we said satisfaction, job satisfaction, and I saw something here that I want to talk about. Where is it again? It's missing. Is another word for that, but it's not going to apply in this content. You need to know what words. It's not all synonyms that you can use to write. That's one mistake that we make. Okay, you decide when you type synonyms for that particular word on Google, it will give you a range of them. In fact, many synonyms will come up, but it's not all of them that you can use in the context that we are discussing. So if you go and bring, because it's an uncommon word, that is a synonym for it, is huge, you will not be able to make it. You won't be able to pass that exam. Tonya and Tony, you are raising your hand. Amaka, you are raising your hand. Why are you girls raising your hands, please? Tonya. Tonya, why did you raise your hand? I thought you wanted to ask a question. When you raise your hand, maybe you are seeking attention to ask a question or to get a clearance on something. All right? If you don't need anything, please don't raise your hand. Amaka, you are raising your hand. What is it? Do you have a question?
Because, I didn't do it on purpose.
Oh, okay. That's fine. I thought you wanted to ask something. So yeah, I was saying that the fact that you see it is a synonym of that particular word you are looking for does not make it correct for you to use it. So you also need to use your head. You also need to think and be sure that you can use it in that context of your writing at that point. So earning, if we choose earning or wage or salary, which one should we choose now? If you see that you have many of them, and anywhere you need to talk about it, you take one and put at each time. You take one of it and use, take one. At the end of the day, you have what we call a basket of vocabulary from which you can choose from. And at the end of the day, your work is very, very rich. And your examiner sees it that you know what you are doing. That way you get a better score than somebody who just wrote a straightforward essay. So now our general statement. How do we get our general statement? General statement is a paraphrase of your question prompt. Then specific statement is our assignment. What is our assignment? We are expected to either agree or to disagree. So everybody now get on your writing pad like you did before and write an introduction for this essay. Write an introduction. Please be fast. Write an introduction using your general statement and your specific statement, okay? Put them together using the words that we have identified here. Put them together to make a paragraph for me. It's usually easier that this essay will discuss my opinion if you don't know how to write all of that English. It's safer. It still gives you your mark. All right, nobody is going to deduct your mark for not saying that I am of the opinion that no. In fact, instead of speaking the wrong English, making grammatical errors, it's better for you to use this essay will discuss my opinion. That way you have given your examiner an assignment to read the essay and then get your opinion from there. It does not mean that if you are able to state your opinion, whether you agree or you disagree from the beginning that you are going to get it wrong. You're not going to get it wrong, but that you must be very, very specific with your choice of words. Use the right words to say what you want to say. And if you don't have the right words to say what you want to say, it's better for you to use that phrase, this essay will discuss my opinion, or to use that sentence rather, this essay will discuss my opinion as your specific statement, in addition to your general statement. You will still get your mark. In fact, everybody in this class can write the same essay using that word, and you will all get your marks. The reason is because the examiner is not going to say, because this person said it, I'm not going to mark the next person for saying the same thing. No, it's not like that. Your exams are individualistic, okay? It's peculiar to you, peculiar to me. So this essay will discuss my opinion. It's fine for your specific statement. And then if you want to say, he said, do you agree or disagree? You can say, I am of the opinion that, okay, maybe you are now choosing the side of a big salary. You say that a high remuneration is much more preferable to job satisfaction or to fulfillment, okay, to job fulfillment, to employment fulfillment or whatever, depending on what word you have chosen. Okay, Damilola, your microphone is on mute. Yes, you are expected to be muted. When you enter the class, you should come in muted. But when we want you to say anything, we will unmute you. We'll tell you to unmute. Then you see a notification on your screen to say that you have been asked to unmute, and you click on it. That way you are able to talk. Everybody is muted in this class because if we all talk, we can't hear ourselves. There are times that we ask you to unmute and then you can interact generally. In the meantime, the interaction is with your keypad now. Go ahead and write for me an introduction for this essay. The essay question says a big salary is much more important than job satisfaction. We underlined our keywords and we said big, salary, more important, job satisfaction than job satisfaction. The question prompt is whether you agree or you disagree. Now we have been able to identify that this is an opinion essay, and it is either you agree that it is better, that a big salary is better or is preferable to you, or you say you are on the side of job satisfaction. For job satisfaction, some of us have written fulfillment in our workplaces. For importance, we have seen beneficial, we have seen vital, all right? We have seen relevant. Okay, I'm giving you the words now. For big salary, we have seen high salary, high pay, fat salary, large salary. Large is not in this context. Please don't use large. The salary is either high or low. It's either big or small. So you see, like what I was saying, if you have synonyms for big, you will see large there. But in this context, large should not be used in this context. High is okay. You can use the word worthy, a worthy salary. A salary that is befitting, a worthy salary is a high salary, okay? If you say increase salary, it's not correct, please. Don't use the word increase salary because you're not talking about whether they should increase your salary or reduce the salary. We are not comparing a particular salary to another salary. So you can't say increase salary. Are you getting my point? Please. I've not seen anybody's work. Oh, they've started writing. I've seen some very good comments. Thank you. If you are using Zoom for the first time, you're joining us for the first time, and you can't hear me, please go out of the class again, join the class. when you are joining the class, there's an information that will pop up. Join with audio. Please click on it. If you don't join with audio, especially for the first time, you will have problems with hearing us. So go out, then come in. But if you think that it's you that we are not hearing, you are not expected to talk. So yes, it's fine for us not to hear you. Have we finished? We are very many in this class, so, and I've not seen up to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's like the new people are more serious than the old people in this class. Yeah, they are the ones writing. No, what are we doing? Everybody should participate, please. Henrietta Haji, if you can't have your video, I've removed you for the 3rd time now, and you end up coming back to the class without your video. If I remove you again and you can't connect with your video, please, I will block you from the class. I'm not joking this time around. Okay, more are coming. This is good. The question says, a big salary is much more important than job satisfaction. A big salary is much more important than job satisfaction. Do you agree or disagree? So don't believe that. Okay. Okay, so it is often believed that earning huge monthly income is much more crucial than getting contentment from work. Can you remove the word much more? Whoever wrote that, can you remove the word much more? And then crucial here, in this context, does it really apply? Crucial, important, is crucial. If you say it's better than getting contentment, because they are thinking their way is best. In my opinion, I agree. Tautology, it is your opinion and it is your agreement. Okay? You are repeating your information. Do you get the point? Whoever has written it, please take notes. I agree, or I am of the opinion that. Take one of them. Okay? I agree, or I am of the opinion that. Yeah. Just take one of them. And then that you agree that higher remuneration is important. It's essential. Can you do that without putting the word that the person has used to ask you the question? Can you say it's essential or it's more essential this time around? Okay? Full stop. This essay will elaborate further. This essay will explain my view. This essay will discuss my view. When you have that statement, please let it be a full stop, and the next, your next sentence or word starts with a capital letter. Full stop. Then this essay, please. Not and. It doesn't really look correct. Thank you very much for making that attempt. Thank you. A huge wage is of utmost benefit than job contentment, not job content, please. Job content, if you are saying job content, you are talking about the specifications of that job. When you are talking about the content of something, you're talking about what that thing contains. But here we're talking about satisfaction that people get from doing that job. All right, I agree, as this will help in catering for. This is one of the reasons why I said that instead of writing something that will put your examiner off, just go ahead and say this essay will discuss my opinion and get your mark, full stop. There's no mark for you. Nobody is going to give you an extra mark for trying to bring all of your points to your introduction. Remember, this is an introduction, and you are expected to have a body paragraph, somewhere where you are explaining and telling your points. Okay, I know that some people will tell you that from your introduction, you should state that your reasons. You don't state your reasons from your introduction, please. Remember that your introduction is made up of two things: general statement, specific statement. General statement, you have been given that one. You are just to paraphrase the statement that your question prompt that you have been given. Your specific statement is your assignment there. So what is your assignment? What are you going to be doing? You are going to be discussing your own view. So this essay will discuss my view, will state my points, will explain my opinion. Okay, I think for myself, it's safer if I'm writing the exam. That is what I will go for. Instead of writing English that will end up confusing yourself and the examiner altogether. I agree, as this will help in catering for the needs of one's family and improve individual social relevance. So you see that you are giving me your point that you are going to discuss. You are stating it from the beginning. It is only good if you are able to construct it well. If not, please go by the generally accepted one. I've corrected you on this particular thing before, and you keep doing it. Don't go and do it again, no. You hear? All right, so another question says, a fat pay is much more important than the joy derived in your job, I like the joy derived. You see that it's not one word, but it's talking about satisfaction. A fat pay is more important. Can you get another word for important, please? Some people say that a fat pay is more valuable. We are talking about joy derived now, and joy is something that is of value. So for importance in this case, you can use valuable, can't you? They are saying that big money is better than being happy at work. That's what we are saying. And you are now going to either agree or disagree. So the joy derived, you are saying a fat pay is more valuable than the joy derived at work. Some people think that a fat pay is more valuable than the joy derived at work or from your job. This essay will discuss my opinion. This essay will discuss why I believe that a high numeration is better. You've not even told us whether a high numeration is better, and you are saying that the essay will discuss why you believe. It's your belief, so prove it to me in your points, in your discussion, all right? Prove it to me in your body paragraphs. Do you understand? Please. A huge remuneration is more essential than job fulfillment. This is good. I am of the opinion that the fat income is more vital because the earning will be used to fend for one's family. You have given only one reason. If I'm going to go by your reason, is that the only reason you have? If I'm going to judge you based on your introduction now, is that the only reason that you have? That's why I said it is safer for you to do what? Maintain the generally acceptable sentence that will cover you and protect you from the clause of these examiners who are ready to reduce your marks by all means. Okay? I like the first part of your introduction. A huge remuneration is more essential. Okay? Some people think, or some say, or some are of the opinion that, then you can now tell me that I am of the opinion, or I am okay of the view that you can now tell me your own part in your discussion. Thank you for attempting. A huge income is of utmost importance to work fulfillment, to job satisfaction, to job contentment. I am of the opinion that big earning is more important, it's more essential. Full stop. You are finished writing, Abi. So what should I now look for? You are of the opinion. So what should I now look for? Please put something there to tell me that you still have something important to tell me. Okay? I don't know if you like it, but I like that the corrections are done this way because I can't do everybody from the email at the same time. But if you have written, you will find out that you get yourself corrected, and then you also learn from the correction of the other people. So what that person is doing right and what you are doing right, you join it together, and at the end of the day, you get better marks for your writing. A high pay is much more essential than job fulfillment. I agree to this statement because a big earning motivates a worker and brings peace of mind. So what does it do that it brings peace of mind? Anyway, it's like the same correction. And you have written only one part of the introduction and you didn't complete it. Huge earning is more benefiting. It's more befitting. How? How? There's a grammatical error there. Please take note. I was trying to type and was removed, so I don't know what's happening. I removed you because you had your video off, not because you were typing. You can have your video on and still type, isn't it? I didn't remove anybody because you are typing. I don't even know whether you are typing or you are not typing. I can only remove you when you don't have your video on. I am constantly being removed because you are constantly having your video off. Some people think that fat income is much more vital than job fulfillment. In my opinion, I believe that high income is more important than job contentment. So, in your opinion, you believe. That's tautology to me, though. In my opinion, you are repeating yourself. That's what I mean. You are repeating the same information. And remember that part of the band descriptors is looking out for when you repeat information. When you repeat yourself, they reduce your mark. Please, let's take note. If your video is on and I removed you, then that should be a very serious mistake. But as it is now, you that is complaining, your video is off now. I can see that it is off now. And if I remove you, you will complain. I don't understand what video does. I don't know. Is there any special thing about that video does when you are on? Is there anything that goes wrong with your phone or with your network or something? Because I really need to know why people will at least not adhere or not, listen to instruction. I just want to know. To me, I don't think there's any difference. But if there's a difference, maybe you should let me know. Okay, so I think I've discussed all that was here. It's more essential than job fulfillment. I am of the opinion that fat income is more vital. This essay will discuss my stand. I think I prefer this. Of all the write-ups, at least I've seen that somebody has added something else to it, but that also told me that this essay is going to discuss what she thinks or what he thinks. I don't know if it's a male or female, whatever that person thinks. So at the end of the day, as an examiner, I'm going to be on the lookout for your points. Now it's often argued that it is more beneficial to choose a job with high wages compared to a job contentment. I completely agree with this argument and think that job satisfaction is much more important than salary. Subsequent paragraphs, wow. This is a bit confusing though, but it's fine. It is often argued that it is, you see the repetition of info there? It is often argued that it is, please, all right? Compared to job, I completely agree with this argument and think that job satisfaction, already you have said you completely agree, so that it is more important. So why are you repeating the same statement? Do you get my point? Repetition of your information is going to cost you marks. So you have said you agree. I have also agreed that you have agreed. So why are you repeating the same thing again? You said I agree, fine. And then you are saying that the same this thing. I don't know if anyone is confused. Is anybody confused about this thing? Who has question? Raise your hand if you have question. Hannah, go ahead with your question.
You did not check mine, ma.
No, I did not check yours. It means I didn't see it now. You know, I can't scale your own and not check it. Me that is looking for your name, sir. How did you know I did not check yourself? Where is it? What did you write then? That I did not check. Did you type it quickly? Did you type on time? Did you type it late? I'm looking for your name and I cannot find self. Did you type it to me privately or to the class? Hannah?
I typed to the class.
But I can't see it. Okay, I've seen it. High salary is more crucial than job fulfillment. I disagree with this view because job satisfaction will increase productivity and it will also help to maintain a healthy lifestyle. You see that in my reading, I've corrected something for you. Your punctuations and your where we have countable nouns and uncountable nouns, a healthy lifestyle. A healthy lifestyle. This essay will further discuss my view. If you had given me that now, we'll give you maybe 95%. Okay?
Noted, ma.
That's fine. Okay, so any other question? 3 people raised their hands. Who are those that raised their hands? Please unmute and speak.
No, you've
Yes.
not read my own already. Even my
There have been few arguments that a high income is more preferable than work fulfillment. I am of the opinion that the fast salary is more significant. Fast salary is more significant. Why and how? What are your reasons? Then you have some spelling errors here. Remember, if I'm your examiner, I will reduce your marks for these spelling errors. I hope you know. So please be very careful with your spellings. Don't let your phone do autocorrect for you. Some phones are like that. I had a phone that when you want to write mine, it will write 9, NY for you, and write it like New York, capital letter. So if you are the type that will let your phone do autocorrection for you, it will autocorrect certain things that will not that you will not like. All right. I'm still removing people, and I'll keep removing people as long as we will not adhere to our instructions. Yes, I've seen somebody, she has written once, I've read it, she has corrected it. That's a good one. So some persons are of the opinion that huge remuneration is of utmost importance to job fulfillment. I agree to this opinion as the remuneration will bring, you are repeating your information, please, will bring about increase in productivity in the workplace and meet the basic needs. Don't write too much English so that we don't make mistakes. Thank you very much for that correction. Thank you. A huge remuneration is more important than job. If agreed salary is better than job, you repeated yourself and I've corrected it already. Are we still writing? It's okay now. She has also corrected it as well. Okay, so let's move to the next item. Is anybody still confused on this? Jennifer, you have your microphone unmuted. Ask your question.
Ma, I just sent my own just now. You've not read it.
What have you been waiting for? You were waiting for other people's corrections so that you write your own perfectly.
I have to recopy it again and send it for the second time.
I'm just joking. It's fine.
And me too, ma.
Yeah.
You don't take mine too.
Who is talking? Tower. Okay. I've seen your own. Maybe I didn't read it. But you have written more than one. It's like you people are listening so that you can correct, which is a good thing. It's good. Okay. A huge remuneration is more important than job fulfillment. This essay agrees that. This essay will agree, if that's what you wanted to write, better than job fulfillment. I thought we had other options here that you saw. You saw many options here now. So why are you repeating yourself? Excuse me. We had so many words, didn't we? You can even scroll up and you still see the messages. You see all of them here. If you are watching us on YouTube and you are not able to participate to have your corrections done, just keep doing what you are doing on the YouTube as comments. And when I finish this class, I will come back on and then I will make the corrections. I'm sure that as soon as I'm done with the corrections, you will get a notification that somebody has commented on your comment or responded to your comment. That way, you can also, like benefit from what we are doing here. I'm sure that these corrections that we're doing here, it should also reflect, okay, in whatever you're doing. Thank you very much for staying on there. I know I have many people that are watching on YouTube, sometimes more than the people in the class itself. It's a good thing. It feels good to know that you're out there and you are learning, and it keeps me like learning new things every day, so I don't have to give you the wrong information. Thank you very much. Okay, somebody has corrected. Correction, some people think that fat income is much more vital than job fulfillment. In my opinion, high income is more essential than job contentment. This essay will further discuss my view. That's good. In my opinion, high income is more essential than contentment. So what are your reasons? Auntie, give me one reason. Thank you for that correction, though. I don't know what to do to these two people. They will go and come back and they still have their videos off. It's upsetting, really. It's upsetting when you do that. Yes, please. Omole, Vera.
Ma, actually, I was late, so I'm not really getting what you're saying, because in the introduction, after changing the keywords, are we supposed to give reasons why we agree?
Oh. You heard me when I was explaining the introduction. The people that are saying that are putting their reasons, you saw the corrections that I did. So why I'm asking your reasons is I want to see them in your write-up now. That's what I mean. But what are your reasons? It's only one person that has agreed here that job satisfaction is better. From every look of things, all of you say that salary is better, Abi. Plenty salary is more. So if you say that salary is more, now I want to have your points. That it is better for you to be highly paid than for you to be satisfied at work. than for you to be happy, to have the joy or contentment at work. If you say so, don't write too long. Just write in 2 sentences. Give me your 2 reasons, your first 2 reasons for agreeing, just 2 sentences. Then your second 2 reasons, remember, one is a concession and one is a reason. All right? So now go ahead and write me a first body paragraph, just the points. Or do you want me to still explain it? Steps to writing an opinion essay. Introduction. After the introduction, what do? You go to your body paragraph. Okay? For your introduction, you paraphrase. Then in the body paragraph, after you have written the introduction that we have just done, you will need 2 body paragraphs. For this type of essay, I personally suggest that you should put at least 2 reasons in each of your paragraphs. A good paragraph should have only at most 2 main ideas, but it should have 1 main idea, and you should write 2 paragraphs. So if you are writing 2 paragraphs, it means that you are going to have to give me your main ideas and the development of that idea in that paragraph, because you are not going to list your reasons. You are not going to list them. You state it, you explain it, and you give me the example where it is applicable. It's not all points that examples are applicable, and it's not all examples that are related. So don't go and give me an example that is not related at all to this question. And then another thing, you need to know the ways of stating example. You don't have to tell me about your brother that was earning big salary, was able to, pay your school fees because he was earning big salary. You don't have to state that. But you can say, for instance, a man with so and so, maybe like 4 members of the family, who has more salary than someone with lesser number, will be able to meet his family needs. If, for instance, that's one of your reasons. Okay? So you will not go and start saying that my brother who had just 4 children with, no, don't go and write all that story. Just give an instance and say, for instance, or for example. Do you understand? Do we understand when you are citing your example? So that you not go and write long story. So you brainstorm quality and valid points, although some are of the opinion that, we can put 3 short paragraphs together, but no, I have said it in this class and we have discussed it, that you should have 2 body paragraphs, okay? 2 body paragraphs. So if you are disagreeing, you must stand on the side that you are disagreeing. It means that for all of you that have stated that you agree that a big salary is better, you must give me points that agree that a big salary is better. That way, your work is logical, and then there is a flow between them. It means your ideas are the same, okay? And you are coming down, I'm going down reading, having the same, like getting the meaning of your text, of your write-up. You need to add any detail you want to add there while you are writing. Not that you finish that write-up and you now go and start writing details somewhere else. Is now, as you are doing it, put it inside, insert everything you need to insert. Type them or write them all together so that your work can have a flow, and then there can be clarity as well. All right? So for your body paragraph 2, that's where the concession comes. A body paragraph 2 should contain a reason and a concession against your strong point. This shows that you understand the topic and you have a good knowledge of it. However, whatever way you have decided to take the stand, to stand, that is whether you agree or you disagree, depending on whatever point that you have chosen to talk about, you must have one that will do what? That will fight against your point. For example, if somebody is saying high salary or high pay or fat pay or a worthy pay is better, and you understand that it's not about the money, It's about productivity. People may be earning big, but because they are not satisfied with that job, they are not productive at all. So at the end, it is a loss more than a gain. So you see that I've already given you 1 point too. If you are the type that is agreeing, if you are on the side of agreement that big salary is better. Sometimes it is about your productivity. Sometimes it is a joy you derive. Although when you are satisfied with your job or you have contentment, you are more productive at work. Despite that, or however, you are still saying that what? That it is better because you may be contented at work and not be able to meet your family's needs. And it's more of you are not working than you are working. Am I correct? Do you understand? Do you understand the concession part? That you have a point against your strong point, where you are like fighting against yourself, like in a debate. We have always not been too many, and I'm not so concerned about numbers in this class. If you must be here, you must adhere. Please go ahead and do the classwork. All right? Go ahead and do the classwork. 2 reasons why you support the point or you are against the point. 1 reason why you support or you are against, and then another reason which is a concession. Just type them. 1, 2. Body paragraph 1, type what you want. Body paragraph 2. Type the body paragraph now, ma. Yes, thank you. Body paragraph has started. Start typing. Type body paragraph. This essay is the same when you see them call argumentative essay, or you see them say agree or disagree essay. It is the same with it. They are all under opinion essays. All of them are opinion essays, where you are asked either to argue on a point, or you are asked either to agree on something or disagree on it, where you are asked to state what extent, okay, where you are asked to weigh 2 options and see whether one option is better than the other. Like you say, like them asking you, do you think that the advantages outweighs the disadvantages? Those are all types of what? Opinion essays. There are like 4 of them. So in some books, you will see that the essay itself, writing types 2, has about 10 to 11 types under them. It is because they have splitted them, and like this this opinion essay now, they are like they've made it like 4. So if you have 4 of opinion essays and you have 3 of the other one, you have 2 of the other one, it has given you the exact same number that others may spread. So don't be confused. Like you say, you have listened to Joy and she says there are 3 types of essay. No, there are subtypes that some people have decided to split. Okay, I've just brought them all under so that you're answering in your responses to these questions. It can be uniform, it can be organized for you. That way you won't lose your coherence and your cohesion. That's what I just did. Thank you. Keep typing. I said type body paragraph. Body paragraph 1. You didn't write anything. There's network glitch. My video is constantly on. Wow. Your video is off. Everybody in this class can see that your video is off. Now it is on. Gene, what is your question? Why are you raising your hand?
I've been raising my hand since. I was trying to ask about it was me that sent the fact that anytime I try to type, the video goes off, I think, because I keep being removed. So I think I can't chat without the video going off, which is the challenge I'm having.
I don't understand. You can't chat without the video going off?
Yes, I don't know, because it was while I was chatting that trying to type my...
Okay, fine. Go ahead and type. Go ahead and type the body paragraphs now. Type the body paragraphs. I've not seen anyone. I've not seen any body paragraph. For you to have agreed or disagreed sharp like that, I thought you had your points already at hand. Eh? Muibat. Where is Muibat? Okay, I've seen you. Unmute. Did you type an introduction?
Yes,
Muibat,
ma. Yes, ma. Yes, ma.
in your introduction, did you
Yes.
agree or disagree?
I wrote 2 introductions, ma. The first one I agreed to the statement, so later I now disagreed.
Is that what you are going to do in the exam?
No, ma.
Because I saw that you did not agree. I mean that you agreed, and now your point you are giving me is that you disagree.
I later changed the introduction because I later realized I won't get much point from the first one.
Good. But you know that you can't do that in an exam situation, because at the end of the day, you end up getting it all wrong. You see the reason why I was saying that at an instance, at a glance, you should be able to know what you want to write on. All right?
Yes.
You should
yes,
know what you want to write on so that you don't make that mistake of writing an introduction that is totally wrong. If you write this kind of introduction that I saw now, I knew from the beginning that it was only one person amongst all of you that disagreed. Every other person agreed. So I'm looking for every other person's point to agree, not that it should disagree. It's only her point. I want to see why she's disagreeing. Do you get my point? So please, whatever you do, whatever choice you have made, that's why I said you have your choice. Make the choice that you know you have enough points to do what? To support. All right? Hannah, I'm still waiting for your point. So I told you it's you I'm waiting for, ba. Okay. Okay, Amaka, you gave a point and you explained one of the points. The second point you gave, there's nothing about it there. It boosts one's confidence. How does it boost your confidence? Maybe you are able to acquire wealth and then you can stand among your equals. You have more money, you have cars and all of that, that raises your social status. Okay, that can come in. Do you understand? That can come in as your second point. I like the first point, and I like the example that you gave. She said that people are not concerned. I'm just paraphrasing. People are not concerned about job satisfaction when the money they earn from that job cannot meet their family needs. It helps one to pay his bills without stress. It makes one fulfilled in the job he does. How can you be fulfilled? We are talking about salary. There's no job where you are raising a point against yourself, and it's not a concession yet. If it makes you to pay your bills without stress, because it makes more money available to you, okay, more money at your disposal, irrespective of whether you are satisfied or not at work, you don't care, then how does it make you, what saying that you may have more money but you are not satisfied, you are not fulfilled in your job. So it makes you more fulfilled in your job is out of it. It's not your point if you are agreeing, all right? It's a point for somebody who is disagreeing. You need a second point, Uchenna. It makes you to be able to take care of your family. Although it is satisfying, it makes you work more. This is confusing. Can you restructure again and write, please? And on that one, write capital letter correction. Psychological stability. You care for the financial responsibility of your family. It gives you a high social status. That's it. And it leads to high self-esteem. That is, if you develop this thing in your first body paragraph, if I'm your teacher, I will give you your mark that you need. This is who? Peace. When one is satisfied with high income, you become more productive. How? Let me see the next one. Job fulfillment brings about psychological satisfaction. It also enhances. Who is this person? Oluwatoyin Johnson. I didn't see your introduction for disagreeing, and now I have valid points for disagreeing. What type of introduction did you write, sir? Or is he a female? Did you write an introduction? Toyin?
Yeah.
But your introduction did not say you disagree. So your introduction and your body paragraph, they are conflicting.
Type, but I don't know if it delivers or not.
What did you type in your introduction? Because these are valid points for someone who disagreed. So please go.
Yes, I try to disagree with.
If you disagree, it's not a problem. Can you write me an introduction, please? Write me an introduction. Thank you.
Hello, ma, I have a question.
Yes, ma, go ahead.
Please, in this agree and disagree, in body paragraph 1, can I agree there? And then in body paragraph 2 and disagree?
No. It's only in a both sides and opinion. That's when you can do that.
Okay, if it's an opinion.
If it is a both sides and opinion where you are made to agree and disagree, you are writing for those that agree and you are writing for those that disagree. Then first body paragraph, you will write your points for those that agree, and then second body paragraph, you will write your points for those that disagree, and in your conclusion, you will give a summary of both the agreement and the disagreement and tell me which side you support. That is for a both side and an opinion essay. We have not reached there, although we've done it before, but in this lesson, we have not reached there.
So yes,
no, you can't. You can only agree or disagree.
What will I not say? What will I not talk about in body paragraph 2?
It means you have not been following the class. In body paragraph 1, you give me 2 points why you agree. In body paragraph 2, you give me 1 point why you agree and 1 point for a disagreement, a point that is against your point, which is called a concession.
Okay.
Okay? Okay. And for sometimes when
yes,
that 1 point that is a concession knocks off that your point, it means that you have 2 points that gives you an upper hand in agreeing, and you stand to score your good marks for either agreeing or for disagreeing, depending on what you are standing for.
Okay, ma'am.
Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand now, Linda? Don't say yes, ma'am. Okay.
I understand, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Good. Okay. Any other question? Have we all written? The ones that have written, I've seen, I've corrected. Oluwatoyin, I'm waiting for your introduction because I need to see an introduction that has this write-up. It brings about psychological satisfaction and it enhances your productivity at the end of the day. Ijoma Duru, you are just writing. Okay. The worker be because a high monthly salary is very relevant to a worker. Okay, because salary brings motivation. Your grammar is wrong, but your point is well understood. Can you correct your grammar and write again? And in that your example, for instance, can you put a full stop and then continue? Full stop and continue instead of creating another paragraph? Because if you do this, it means you are going to have 8 paragraphs where you will have 1 paragraph each for your point, and then 1 paragraph for your example, and then 1 paragraph for the next point and 1 paragraph for your example. It's going to be wrong. Connect them together with the use of your cohesive devices. Where we have all the however, all the buts, although I've not seen anybody use that. That's because I just said you should state the points. But after you have stated these points for me, remember that if you are developing your points, you are writing it, you are developing it along. As you are writing, you are making use of cohesive devices. What we call cohesive devices, all those our what is it called? The conjunctions, the join, the linking verbs, the linking words, all the therefore. And so because you are saying that a high salary can motivate, therefore, you understand, you need to bring in these words because your examiner is on the lookout for the use of these words. It shows that you are grammatically sound. Amaka, ask your question.
I want to say that I added the other one, my second point, and you didn't read that. I can correct myself appropriately.
You have corrected yourself. Maybe I have not reached there.
No, no, not correcting. You said that I should have my second point, which I was actually typing. So,
okay. I've not seen the second point then.
Okay, I'll repost again.
Okay. Okay, most people basically want to get employed, not because they actually feel the sense of, please, it should be sense of duty to work. And it is SENSE. That's the sense. This sense here is wrong. Amaka, you need your phone to stop doing autocorrect for you, and you need to check your spellings, please. Spelling errors is very, 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 very deadly. Spelling errors.
Okay.
Good.
Then the next one, ma'am. The next one down.
I've not seen the next. I'm still reading it, but that they need to be met, but that they have needs to be met. An individual who owns a large family, he has to cater for, consider a high-paying job than a low-earning work, than a low-earning one, or than a low-income one. That's fine. Whether he feels satisfied or not. Whether he feels that, don't speak English too much, because now in this thing I'm counting work. You have written work 1, 2, 3, 4 in 4 places in 1 paragraph. Work. Is there no other word for work? Can't you replace it with something else? Yeah. You can replace it with employment, with a job. Okay? Job fulfillment brings about psychological enhancement. I've read this one now. To begin with. Okay. Adeola, now that you have begin with, you need to also end with. If you are writing for me and you are using this statement to begin with, please remember that when you are writing, you should also to end with. That's why it is very dangerous to start your statement this way. It is very, very dangerous. If you have been in this class from the beginning, you know that we have discussed this before. You don't use to either you say firstly, secondly, thirdly. If you are going to say firstly, then make sure you use secondly and thirdly. And it means that you are listing your points, which is not a good thing. You don't begin with, okay? Please, especially in your first body paragraph, attack it as it is. Don't use to start with, to begin with, firstly. No, please. So that you can confidently use words like in addition, furthermore, therefore, however, notwithstanding. Like you are talking about this now, many people will prefer highly paid jobs, irrespective of the treatment they get while working. I've not repeated myself, because it makes more money available to them to meet their family needs. So now, one of your reasons is that highly paid job is preferable. Why? Because they have more money to meet their family needs. If you agree to what they've said. So you will be able to continue speaking using your cohesive devices if you start well. But if you say, okay, to begin with, are you going to say next to? You are not writing a process graph. You are not explaining a process diagram. It is only in a process diagram that you can use words like to begin with. The processes started by. Am I making sense? And that is in writing task 1. All right, there are specific words that you can use to some specific question types. For this kind of questions, as much as possible, attack it directly. Don't start with, don't begin with, don't firstly, don't secondly. It means you are listing your points, and this is an essay. In an essay, you don't list your points, okay? That's why it's not telling you list the points to support, no. That's why it's not asking you like that. It's asking you to write an essay. It's an academic style of writing. That's what you are doing in writing task 2. It's only in writing task 1 that you can list the steps that are involved, all right, in a process. Did I make myself clear, please? Okay. So to begin with is wrong, ma, or sir. A high monthly income is very relevant to a worker, because, please correct your grammar. Ijoma, thank you very, very much. I'm in support of the fact that huge income is better than job satisfaction because of the high standard of living in my country. This is an example. You are giving me an example first before you are stating your point. So if you had given me the point that when you are highly paid, okay, it makes you able to be responsible. You are able to pay your bills. This is because in a country like mine, the standard of living is very high. And so one need more money. So your example now comes in. Do you understand? Good, thank you. I know the person that wrote it. That's why she's shaking her head in response. All right, so to begin with again, please don't begin with. That correction is made. I believe we have taken it. Okay, now to my point. You are giving me a study that was conducted in New York City. Is this a true fact? Let me ask. Is this a true fact? Did you do this study? If I go online, will I find this study? Let's be careful what we use, what we quote. Be very, very careful what we quote. Please don't quote figures in your writing task 2. In writing task 1, where you have figures, percentages, and numbers, go ahead to write about them. Please, because it's assumed that you have not seen this question anywhere before. You are coming to the exam hall to see the question, and you are not allowed to go online to do any study or to check anything while you are in the exam hall. So where did you get this point from? It shows 2 things. Either you are not factual or you are cheating in the exam hall. The latter is worse. Because if they think or conclude that you are cheating in the exam hall by going online to check things, then your exam is cancelled. The result is cancelled and is withheld. Please don't talk about any research that was conducted or quote any number, any percentage. Okay? Please, for the sake of the exam, just give them what they want. Get your band 7, abi band 8, or whatever band is required of you, and go your way, please. To begin with, I've said it already, it's out of it, please. In my opinion, though. But if you think that that's what's best for you, fine. But you know, it's good to somehow give up your belief sometimes and just do the right thing and get what you want, than for you to want to prove a point and at the end of the day you come back to write again. So you are going to take out your quote from the New York Times, and you are going to take out your begin with, and you are going to write this point for me again. Now, please. Firstly, I don't want firstly, please. You can just start by a large pay. A large pay. I told us in the beginning that large in this case does not apply to big, didn't I? I ruled out large from the words that can be used as synonyms here, because in the context that we are discussing, it does not fit into this discussion. And so I will not accept large. And it therefore means another thing, that you're not paying attention to this class, except you came late and you didn't hear that part. I like your example though, where people have more expenses, like pay more transport to work and all of that. They need more pay to pay their bills, because after all the expenses have taken all the money away from them, they can't have much to do anything with. So yeah, your example is good and is relevant, but your statement from the beginning is wrong. To start with, we are correcting and you are still going ahead to make the same mistake. Don't start with, because if you start with, you must end with. If you begin with, you must end with. If you firstly, you must secondly, you must thirdly. And it means you are going to be listing all your points. And a study also conducted in Dubai. Did you go to Dubai are you really sure of this study? When there are examples around you, I've explained to us the kind of examples that we should use, didn't I? I told us that you can choose an example within you, within your environment. You can say something that, for instance, somebody that is paying transport to work will need more money. That's an example already. You don't need to go and start looking for where they studied and did a survey in England, and many people with more money, you know, decided to work for more money. No, you don't need to do all of that. This is an exam situation. Forget that you are practicing and you have your phone to browse. In the exam, they don't expect you to have come to the exam with your handsets to browse, or they don't expect you to quote figures that are not given. That's why the only places you can quote figures in the writing task is in your writing task 1. And the reason is because you got figures from your questions. All right? Writing task 2 is an essay. An essay is not about figures. An academic style of edition, any big, provides access or gives you access, please, or helps you to live a luxurious life. Your grammar, hey, I mean, your point is very well stated, but the container, yeah, what you are using to wrap it, your English around it, your grammar around it needs to also be a little bit sophisticated, because if it is not, you will lose the importance of that point that you're trying to make. So grammar, please. Grammatical range and accuracy. Very what? Important. Okay, another important reason why job satisfaction is more beneficial is that it promotes one's job's competence. It promotes your competence. I think that's better than one's job's competence. It sounds somehow. Yeah? Thank you. I've seen your 2 points. I've seen it, but you've not written a concession. And I did ask you for an introduction so that I am sure that you are writing the points for what you introduced, but I've not seen it, Muibat. Don't type to me privately so that the whole class can see what we are doing. Please. So have you concluded, Oluwatoyin? Correction, first body paragraph helps you pay your bills without stress, increases prestige and ego. It helps build up motivation. Although it's satisfying, it makes you Your second body paragraph, can you construct it again, please? Uchenna. Thank you. At least it shows that we're getting somewhere. To begin with, we have made correction not to use to begin with, and somebody is writing after we have made that correction, and you are still writing to begin with. There's so many here. Wow. I think I'm impressed with some. Irrespective of job title and pay grade, employees who report high job satisfaction tend to achieve higher productivity. Job contentment plays a crucial role in the life of an individual. People tend to work more effectively and seamlessly when they are happy with their job. In Nigeria, for example, companies who record higher success rates is as a result of employee commitment and employment satisfaction. Okay. Okay. First body paragraph. You gave me 3 points in first body paragraph. I must say I'm impressed, but starting your first body paragraph with irrespective. The word irrespective, for you to use it, it means you have made a statement and you are saying that irrespective of that statement that you made, of that thing that you said, this is what you are saying. So you have not said anything. You're starting your first body paragraph with the word irrespective. No, it's wrong. All right? Attack it, then irrespective, you can say. I've not seen any concession. What's happening to your concessions? Although highly paid jobs boost your morals, what does it do on the other side? When you are contented with the work you do, you are more productive. Or when you are satisfied, You are eager to go to work. That way, you are more productive. There's no room for redundancy at all. Although the opponents of this view claims that wow, this is a typical debate. Thank you. Although the opponents of this view there won't be any satisfaction without regular income. Nevertheless, significant results from those that experience this has proved otherwise. That's your concession, right? But although the opponents of this view, no, is wrong. That word is wrong. Claims that there won't be any satisfaction without regular income. It's not regular income we're discussing. The word regular cannot be used for high income. So don't use the word regular, please. Remember, don't forget the topic sentence. The thing that we are discussing, the question topic is about big pay. It's about big enumeration, high pay, all right? So don't use regular. They are not saying people that are irregularly paid, no. All right? Okay, so I'm just going to summarize my points and then I'll conclude this class. We started by discussing writing task 2, and we've talked about the band descriptors, the things you'll be rated on. And we went further to discuss the kind of questions that you will find. And we picked one of them. There are 3 of them actually, opinion essays. We have both sides an opinion, and we have 2 question essays. We picked opinion essays and we gave examples where you have questions like, what is your opinion? Do you agree or disagree? To what extent do you agree or disagree? And whether you think that the advantages outweigh the disadvantages. Those are the kind of questions that you will find in opinion essays. Now that you know what kind of questions you will find, we talked about your plan of an opinion essay. And for you to write an opinion essay, we did say that you have 4 paragraphs. The introduction, first body paragraph, second body paragraph, and your conclusion. In your introduction, we said it is made up of your specific statement and your general statement. Your general statement is your question prompt paraphrased, and your specific statement is the assignment you have been given to do. Your general statement can be paraphrased only with words that are called synonyms. And then in getting these synonyms, you need to be very careful to use the synonyms that are related to the context in which you are discussing these words. We've talked about the steps. After you have identified your key points, you have gotten synonyms for them, then you brainstorm on the key point as well. Okay, you decide your position, whether you are agreeing or you are disagreeing, and then you follow the structure. Okay, so when you follow the structure, which is the steps, the structure, the first step is the introduction. So you go ahead to do your introduction. And after that, you go ahead to write the body paragraphs. In your first body paragraph, I said you should have at least 2 points, 2 main points. As you have your point, you develop the point along as you go, and then you give one example where it is relevant. Then in your second body paragraph is where you have one of your reasons why you agree or disagree, and then a concession, a point that is against your point. So that if that point takes away one of your points, you still have 2 points that are standing for you, which you are going to be rated based on. It also shows that you understand the academic style of writing an essay. After your body paragraphs, what is next? The next thing after your body paragraph is your conclusion. Okay? Your conclusion, in order to write an excellent conclusion, you should start by using a phrase that signals that you're ending, you're concluding, you are going to the end of you are rounding up, you are going to the end of your write-up. Then you should restate the position again to reinforce it in the mind of your examiner. After you have done this, you summarize the main points that you have made in the body paragraph, because it is a standard feature of concluding a paragraph. If you don't summarize the main points that you have made, you will not get a good mark. You won't get a good mark for your conclusion. You are reminding the examiner as well that these are the points that I've been discussing. In case you didn't get me, sir, this is what I have been saying. All right. So finally, if you want to now write a truly outstanding conclusion, what you need to do is that you could give a final comment based on your summary. If you are short of time, just try to complete it with as many few words as possible after you have summarized your main points. How do you write a conclusion for an opinion essay? How do you write a conclusion for an opinion essay? If you have agreed, then let the points that disagree come first. That your concession point, let it come first. After you have said in conclusion, there are phrases that are accepted for you when you are concluding to start with. Please, in conclusion is better. Conclusively is better. To conclude with is fine. Don't go and look for every other hard word or strong words to use, because at the end of the day, you put yourself in the danger of losing marks. Somebody, or if you say, to bring my point to an end, you don't write that kind of, there are specific words that are expected and accepted. In conclusion, conclusively, if you use those, it's okay. And remember, you are using just one. So you can't say that because all of us are in the class or in the exam, we're using in conclusion. No, the examiner is marking you as per you. It's not the question of when the class is talking at the same time. It's not when everybody is talking at the same time. It is that she or she is marking your question or your paper at that point. So if you are concluding for an essay that you have always agreed to all the points, if you are part of the people that have agreed that salary, a big salary is better or is more important, then you should start with, in conclusion, although that's your concessional point, the point that is a concession for you, bring it first before you go to your own point that you are supporting with. Do you understand? The reason is because you are expected to have your points as the conclusion, as the last things that you say. For instance, if I have agreed that big salary or big enumeration, higher pay or higher monthly pay is better, and then maybe I have a concession that job satisfaction makes you more productive, okay? If I want to conclude, I will go like, although having a job or doing a job where you are contented makes you more productive, however, I am of the opinion that the quality of pay that one gets should Can we hear me?
No, ma.
Wow. I just disappeared from the class. I found myself outside the class. Okay. Can we hear me now?
Yes.
Thank you. So I was saying that I will bring my points to the end of my write-up. This is because that is what I want to mark. That's what the mark I want to leave in the mind of the examiner or whoever is reading it. That despite all of these points, although people can be satisfied, okay, and they can be more productive at work, but that there is no need for productivity when you can't meet your family needs, all right? When you can't stand among your equals, you can't even pay your bills. That's what I am trying to say. That although it is more satisfying, when you have satisfaction in your job, you may be more productive. However, I am of the opinion that a higher pay is much more important because it helps you to pay your bills, okay, gives you increases your social status and prestige, and boosts your ego among your equals. These three things were my points. They were my 2 points in the first paragraph, first body paragraph, and one of them was in my second body paragraph. So I bring my concession first, and then I've concluded with the point that I want to leave in the mind of the examiner as my mark. Do you understand how I came about this conclusion? If your own is the other way around, you will bring the concession first, where you will say, although conclusively, despite the fact that high salary can help you pay your bills and give you satisfaction, I am of the opinion that, okay, what is your reason for you saying it now? When you are satisfied with your job, you are more productive, you are more mentally stable, it boosts your psychological whatever. What are the reasons that you gave? You will now bring your reasons to the end. That is how you conclude an opinion essay. Do you understand? Mayowa, are you just joining this class? This one that your face is squeezed like this, are you confused?
No, I'm trying to get your explanation actually, that's why.
My explanation is this. In your conclusion for an opinion essay, bring your concession first. Remember that your conclusion is a summary of your points, isn't it? It's a summary of your points in body paragraphs 1 and in 2. Now, in your conclusion, you bring your concessional point first. Your point of concession, bring it first, then bring the other points last. That's what I'm explaining. That's just all.
Okay.
That's just all.
Okay,
so that you. This will help you to reiterate the fact that you are standing on those points. You're like trying to repeat yourself. It's like a debate. Okay, you are concluding in your debate. You know, the final time they give you a few minutes to come and round up. That's your conclusion. And then you come in and you say, although your opponents have said that the teachers are the ones that taught the doctors, I am still of the opinion, or I still want to convince you beyond every reasonable doubt that when the teachers are sick, it is the doctors that teach them, that the doctors are also more educated and there are doctors who are teachers. And you know, the point that you gave before, that is what you are bringing. Amaka,
okay.
Are you confused?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
not.
you. That's fine. So that's just what I'm trying to explain. That your point of concession should come first after your first statement of in conclusion. Your point of concession should come first because you want that the last thing you want to leave in the mind of your examiner or your reader is your points that you are supporting. You bring your support, your supporting point, you bring it last, and then you drop your pen. Remember, it is a conclusion. Remember, it is a summary. In other words, some people, like I've heard, say that when they read your introduction, they go to read your conclusion. The reason is because your introduction tells them what you want to do, and your conclusion tells them what you have done, your points that you have stated. So some examiners or some people, some markers will read your introduction and go to your conclusion. They may not get your exact points in your first and second body paragraphs, but in your conclusion, your 4 points are stated clearly there. That is the concession and your 3 points. Do you understand? That is all about opinion essay. It is the same thing for all the other opinion essays. Okay, it is the same thing for all the other opinion essays. The only difference is this: when you are writing an opinion essay that is asking you whether you strongly agree or disagree, you need to state it that you strongly agree or you strongly support. When they ask you to what strongly agree or strongly disagree, don't just say I am of the opinion that. No, you need to state whether you strongly agree or you strongly disagree. When you have a question that is asking you whether the advantages excuse me, whether the advantages outweighs the disadvantages, you need to state it at the end that you think that the merits are more than the demerits, if you are supporting. And if you are against it, you say you think, or you suggest, or you assume that the demerits are more than the merits. You need to state it, you need to say it, and you need to prove it with your points. All right? I am of the opinion that the advantages are more than the disadvantages because this and this and this and this and this. You state your points again. So although you bring in one of the disadvantages, if you are on the side of the advantages, although you bring in the disadvantage that you have stated as your concession when you were discussing in your second body paragraph, you state it, but you are of the opinion that the advantages outweighs the disadvantages because of this and this and this. All right? We will talk about both sides and opinion, and then we will talk about what is it called, the 2-question essay in another class. We have actually overshot into our time already. It's 5:30, and this class was supposed to end by 5. If you don't understand, please say it now.
Ma, please, I don't still understand the paragraph 2. I understand this conclusion very well.
If you understood the conclusion and you don't understand the paragraph 2, then there's a problem. So what are you going to conclude with?
Okay. What I'm thinking is that you said in paragraph 2, the
tell me what you understand in paragraph 2, in second body paragraph.
Yes, let me explain the way you
second body paragraph.
Yes, the second body paragraph. The second body paragraph. You said the concession should come first before my own view. Is that what you said?
No, ma'am.
So you see, I don't understand it.
What I said that you should have one reason and a concession. Then in your conclusion, that your concession should come before your points. Is that not what I said? In your conclusion. But in your second body paragraph, you have one of your reasons and a concession. So when I say one of your reasons and a concession, what does it mean? It means that one of your reasons, then a concession. Am I saying that a concession comes before your reason? That's not what I said.
Your reason will come
one
before.
of your reason and a concession. And what do I mean by a concession? A strong point against your point. A point against your point. This shows that, it shows your examiner that you understand both sides. Even though you are agreeing, it does not mean that you don't know anything about the side that disagree. It means you also know the side that disagree, and this is what they may say. But that I am concluding that although this is what they may say, but this is what I am saying. It's simple. Do you now get the point, or you still don't get it?
I get it now.
No, you didn't get it. That is the same thing you said that time, and now you're asking again. It means you didn't get it. See,
I will just write first and see if I get it.
Linda, now tell me, what are your points? Give me your reasons. For this essay that we just wrote, give me your 3 reasons. Oh yeah, be fast. Give me your 3 reasons. For this essay that we just did now, give me your 3 reasons. Linda, I'm unmuting you. Unmute yourself. I've given you permission to unmute. Linda. What is happening? Can any other person hear me?
Yes. I can hear you.
Linda. Okay, don't ask your question. Unmute yourself, please.
Well done, ma. Actually, this is my first time. So
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. I sent my essay the other time, and I don't know, the network was bad, so it went off for a few minutes. So I didn't know if my essay was read. I was just trying to picture the concession that she was trying to talk about. I think when you were explaining the other time, you made a point that in the second body paragraph, that we should raise a point that will counteract our own, and at the end of the day, we will now support it with a point we want to leave in the mind of the examiner.
That is in your conclusion.
Okay.
You have gotten a perfect explanation for the conclusion.
Yes.
Now,
but taking for example, what I wrote down, I don't know if you eventually read it.
I've seen your work. You said getting satisfied that one's job is good. However, being well paid serves as a positive motivation and boosts self-esteem. Now, what was your introduction for this point? Introduction. It is often believed that earning huge monthly income is better than getting contentment from work. I agree that higher remuneration is more essential. This essay will discuss my view. Perfect introduction. It means that you have agreed. Now, getting satisfaction at work is good. However, being well paid serves as a positive motivation and it boosts your self-morale. I will take this point. This is because you are giving me an example that relates to your point. That getting paid, getting higher pay is better. Now, you have said that getting satisfied at work is that is your concession, right? Because that is what the other people will say. That is your own concession. However, being well paid serves as a positive motivation and it boosts your self-esteem. So now you are giving me an example close to your that is showing, I mean, an example related to getting paid higher money still. For instance, most employed individuals are not always sociable among their counterparts if they have nothing to show for their years of working because they cannot afford the essentials for their social groups. You are giving a point that is still related to getting higher pay. So if you write like this, I will take it. If that is the way you structure it, I will take it because I do understand the point you are trying to make. But that now that you have done this, how are you going to do your conclusion? If you have done this, this is exactly what you would have done in your conclusion. And now you have done it in your second body paragraph. So now write me a conclusion and let me see. So if I take this and I give you a good mark for your second body paragraph, I'm going to give you a lower mark for your conclusion if you don't conclude to my expectation. Did anybody get the point I'm trying to explain? Vera, do you understand? So if you write me a conclusion, all right, and then I am satisfied with your introduction, satisfied with your first body paragraph and with your second body paragraph, and I'm satisfied with your conclusion, you get your mark.
Okay.
But if I am supporting, okay, that higher pay is better, and I say that you see that getting satisfied at one's job is good. What is the reason that makes it good? You see that you didn't give any reason there.
Okay.
Did you see it? If you gave a reason there, you will conflict yourself at the end of the day. So give a reason. If you are writing again, write for me, getting satisfied at one's job is good as it does what? Or because it does what? However, then you have given me a reason, because this one, you have given a point, one of your points, and I've given an example, but your concession is incomplete.
Okay.
But if I'm satisfied with it and I give you your mark, then your conclusion is going to be the next to be scored. So where is your conclusion? If I get your conclusion and you are able to make all of your points correctly, then I will give you your deserved mark. If not, this is the way to conclude. For everybody, this is the way to conclude. This is actually like a conclusion. But here, she's just bringing in an example. You don't need an example in your conclusion anymore. In this conclusion, for example, if I am going to conclude like this, and I've been supporting the fact that higher pay is better, conclusively, although conclusively it is a good thing, or it is good to have job satisfaction because it does what and what and what and what. However, I am of the opinion that a higher remuneration is better as it does this and this and this and this. I bring my points in. That is a conclusion. So Idowu, am I still waiting for your conclusion, or you will write it and send it to the platform?
Yes, ma'am.
Because my time
I will
is
write it
fast.
and send it. I was only waiting for you to. Yes, ma'am. I was
Write
only
it and
waiting
send
for
it
you
to you
to.
can write it to the platform on Telegram. If I see it, I will comment on it. Please stop sending me your private work. Stop sending to my private Telegram or WhatsApp or email your assignments. I like that. That's the reason why I resolved to doing this here, so that all of us can learn from each other. That way you see a good one and you are able to learn from it. You see a bad one and you are able to correct your own as well. That is actually the best thing to do. I don't want to just come and lecture and go away. We have done something like that in the past. So if you just want a class where you come and listen, say, no, Joy said, do, go back, go and watch our videos. They are all there. It's like it's time for us to interact, and let me see if what we have been discussing is even making any sense to you. Okay? So it looks like this is actually, to me, more productive than just coming to read something for you. If I read for you and I go away, you may not be able to practice and get corrections. And then I leave more work for myself if I have to correct everybody individually. All right? The next class, we are going to discuss those two things. No matter what, we'll finish with writing task 2, and then we can have something else to do. Any other question, please? The class is supposed to end by now.
Thank you very much for your time, ma'am.
Yes, Ogene, you are still raising your hand. Do you still have questions? I can't hear you. You need to unmute yourself.
I said I was just trying to check in if I got both the body paragraph 1 and paragraph 2 right, so that I can know how my conclusion should go.
Now that I have corrected other people, can you see where you are wrong or where you are right?
I think I see, but I just want to be.
I've not even seen. I don't think I did. If I didn't make any comment on your work, I did not jump it intentionally. Okay, probably something else had come up and I'm not able to like read it. And if you have seen a correction that can apply to you, there's really no need for us to like keep rigmaroling and talking about the same thing, is it? If it's something that is different from what we have been discussing, then you can draw my attention or our attention to it and we'll have a look at it. I didn't jump your work intentionally. Okay.
No, because in the introduction, yeah. I remember putting it there that, stating it there that this essay will discuss my opinion about this. That's after the general statement, then the specific one. I just put it there that this essay will discuss my opinion about this. So I didn't.
You don't need to write about this. This essay will discuss my opinion, full stop.
Okay.
Then you can now write your opinion. For me to now know your opinion, I will now go to your body paragraph, read it, and then go to your conclusion to really know where you stand. Do you understand?
Okay.
So yeah, the complete essay. If you want to try this, anybody can write it. Write the complete essay, all right? So you can see that it's not like an essay that I premeditated on. It came from one of you, okay? So it's something we're solving. It's a style of writing. If you want to like maybe put everything together and see how it should be, please write it and post it on the Telegram group. Just write it and place it there. I'll see it and I'll comment. I may comment privately, I may comment publicly. It depends on my choice. Okay?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. So I'm bringing this class to an end. I believe we should not have further questions. Thank you very much for joining us today. And for those of us on YouTube, if you have done yours like we did here, I will go through it. And if you are going to watch later this video and you try to do yours as well, you can as well write it as a comment and we'll get to solve it too. Thank you very much for coming to the class today. Remember, if you are coming into this class, to have your video on so we don't keep interrupting ourselves and keep getting ourselves upset. I've decided that I'm not going to be doing what now? To be telling you before I remove you. Once I can't find that your video is on, I will remove you one hand. I'm going to be doing it without missing words. For instance, Ese Ogene wanted to talk, her video came on. Now she's no longer talking, her video has gone off. So some of these things are intentional. We do them intentionally and it's not fair. It's not fair. Thank you very much for tonight. I'll see you again in our next class on Saturday. If the time changes, we will let you know. But hopefully on Tuesday, hopefully the time should not change. Have a good night rest.